Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. I will be your host for this evening's event. My name is Jamie, but I am also with my co-host, Bob. Bob, would you like to introduce yourself? Yes, thank you, Jamie. My name is Bob John, and I am very excited about tonight's event. But, Jamie, you got to answer a question. Why were these planes chosen for the Battle of the 4's? Well, Bob, these planes were chosen because after all of my tests, these were the planes that stood their ground. They're also considered to be the top of the line hand planes. Well, that is going to make for a really good show. Now, I know we got some stats lined up on these guys, so let's go ahead and take a look at them. Jamie, I'm going to pass it over to you. Thank you, Bob. Let's go ahead and dive in. In this corner, we have the Veritas Custom. He is our lightweight champion. He comes in at 4 pounds, 5.9 ounces. Now his reach or his length, that is 9.5 inches long. Wingspan or his width, that is 2 9/16. Couple other stats here. Body type, we've got ductile iron. The iron type is PMV11. Now remember that these ones can come in a couple different types. The cost for this plane is $309. They give free shipping, and he came to us all the way from Canada. So he is the most affordable plane in the lineup, but I see a really pretty plane over here in the corner. Tell us about this one, Jamie. You got that right, Bob. A lot of folks will say that this is the prettiest plane that we currently have on the lineup, and it is coming to us from the USA. So this is one of them Nielsen planes. I've heard of them before. Hold up there, Bob. It is pronounced Lee Nielsen. You don't want to mess that one up. Oh, that's my bad, folks. I didn't know. It is pronounced Lee Nielsen. I apologize. Well, that's all right, Bob. It is a common misconception, but people get really upset when you pronounce it wrong. But anyways, let's dive in and check out the stats for this beauty. This Lee Nielsen plane is our heavyweight champ, coming in at 4 pounds, 10.4 ounces. His reach, 9 5/8. His wingspan, 2.5 inches. And some other stats here for you guys. His body type is ductile iron. The iron type is A2. And his cost, $340. Now, he is not the most expensive one that we have on the lineup, so let's keep moving on here. In this corner, we have the oldest plane in today's lineup. So tell me, Jamie, why is this one in the lineup with him being so old? Well, Bob, these planes are still highly sought after, and in my test, they were one of the ones that were still standing their ground against the current modern makers. This one is known as the Clico Clifton. Let's check out the stats. Weight-wise, this thing's just a little bit heavier than the Veritas. It comes in at 4 pounds, 6.8 ounces. Reach, 9 11/16. Wingspan, 2.5 inches. And some other stats here for you guys. Body type, these ones were gray cast iron. The iron type for this one is 01, but I do want to mention that the owner of this replaced the blade with a new PMV11 iron. The cost for this plane can be anywhere from $300 to $350. And this plane came all the way from the UK to join this match. Now, I heard that it's got a younger brother, and that's the one that we got to look at here because it's planning on taking the flag from its brother. That's right, Bob. Up next, we have the Modern Clifton. Now, the stats for this one. Weight comes in at 4 pounds, 8.7 ounces. Reach, 9 11/16. Wingspan, 2 5/8. Other stats here, body type is still gray cast iron. The iron type is 01, and the cost for this plane is $390. Well, Jamie, it's crazy to hear that that one is still made out of gray cast iron when all the other ones, the modern ones, are made out of ductile iron. You got that right, Bob, and in my opinion, that is going to count against the plane in this lineup. Well, especially, too, when you got to consider the cost of that plane being $390 compared to the Lee Nielsen that's $340 made out of ductile iron. Now, the Clifton, the modern one, that is the most expensive plane in the lineup, and that's why I'm still surprised to hear that it's made out of gray cast iron. I have to agree with you, Bob. The other thing I'm noticing is the iron type. It's still made out of 01. Yeah, and I know you can buy the replacement irons, but for the cost of that plane, I wouldn't want to buy a replacement iron. Now, I know people are going to argue that 01 is still an amazing steel, and it is. But we have A2, we have PMV11, and there are other metal types coming out now that are shown to be better than the 01. So I'm just surprised to hear that. I couldn't agree with you more, Bob, so let's go ahead and take a break. And while we're taking a break, we will roll some behind-the-scenes footage of these planes when they showed up for their weigh-in. We'll be back with you in a moment. We are back now. Jamie, there was a couple things you wanted to point out about these planes. Yes, thank you, Bob. The first thing that I want to look at is just how thick the Modern Clifton left their wings. Now, I expected it to be thicker than the Veritas. The Clifton comes in about 3/16, but they didn't taper it at all to make it look thinner. Now, that's not to say that the body is thicker. All of the other planes tapered them so they were more narrow on the top. Now, do you think they did that because the body is made out of that gray cast iron? That is very possible, Bob, because we know that if you drop gray cast, there's a high chance it'll crack, so maybe they left it thick, hoping that it wouldn't crack. Now, the next thing that I want to look at here is the knobs. You can see that that Modern Clifton has a low knob where all of the other ones are pretty similar. Now, doesn't Veritas sell different totes and different knobs for their planes? You got that right, Bob. So what you're looking at here is the standard Veritas knob. They also sell a low knob and a tall knob. Now, when we look at the totes, this is the medium traditional tote. Veritas sells 6 different types, so you can find the one that fits your hand size and fits your preference. So what I'm noticing here, Jamie, is that Lee Nielsen tote is pretty small compared to the others. Is there a reason for that? Well, Bob, Lee Nielsen leans heavily on the Stanley Bailey design with the smaller totes where they expect a 3-finger grip with your index finger sticking out. The other ones allow for both. You can use your whole hand or you can do the 3-finger grip with 1 finger sticking out. I think it's just leaning towards more modern. And Bob, you might be surprised to hear, but it's actually a highly debated topic on how you hold a hand plane. Well, that doesn't make a lick of sense. Who cares how you hold a hand plane? Well, Bob, I couldn't agree with you more, but I guarantee you I will hear about this in the comment section. But moving right along, the Veritas has a Norris style adjuster. That means that the depth and the lateral are on the same arm. But when you look at the 3 others, they have the Bailey style adjuster, where the depth adjuster and the lateral are separate. And that is something that is going to come down to preference. Which one do you prefer? One thing I want to point out is a lot of people complain that you cannot adjust the Norris adjuster on the fly. But check this out. So it can be adjusted on the fly. Yes, Bob, it can. And the other thing with the Veritas plane that you can adjust on the fly is the mouth. They also have a depth stop, so you can use that to micro adjust the mouth or just to prevent the mouth from smacking into the iron. When you look at the other 3 planes, they have the bedrock style, which means you have to stop, get a screwdriver to open or close the mouth. Sometimes you do have to undo or tighten the 2 screws on the side of that frog screw to adjust the mouth. So let me show you how the Veritas can be adjusted on the fly. Adjusting the mouth is not something you have to do often, but it is a handy feature to have for when you do need to. You got that right, Bob. Now, there are a couple other features on the Veritas plane that I want to point out. They have these set screws on the sides of the planes that help maximize the lateral adjustment. They also have threaded holes on the sides of their planes because they sell a fence that can attach to this plane. Now, looking at the lineup here, Jamie, doesn't that just make Veritas a clear winner? It's got the lowest price and it's got all of these features. No, Bob, it doesn't. There are a lot of people that do not like the Norris style adjuster. A lot of people also don't like how the Veritas looks. They like the more traditional look. They like the more traditional adjusters, and that's what the other 3 ones have. Now, I will say that they all can take beautiful shavings. They're all amazing to use. So let's take another commercial break here, and while we're doing that, I'm going to show some more differences about these planes. I'm going to show you the blades and the cap irons, how they come apart, and how they go back together. We'll be back with you in a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Bob, did you see the chip breakers on the Veritas and the vintage Cliftons? Yes, Jamie, I did. The cool thing about that is the chip breaker goes back where you set it, so you don't have to reset the chip breaker every single time. The other thing that I thought was really cool is on the Modern Clifton, they have a little bit of a recess on their chip breaker, which is most likely there to increase the contact surface, make that surface a little bit stronger, because you don't want to be getting chips under the chip breaker. You are correct, Bob, and now we are ready to test out these planes. I do have to mention that all of them were allowed to use the same tool wax. This is my personal favorite. It is the Cottrell Toolworks Tool Wax. It is new, so I will put his information down below, but here we go. Let's start putting them through their paces. Now remember, Bob, when you were saying that you thought the Veritas was the winner, here is one flaw on the Veritas that I haven't been able to overcome, and a lot of people are not going to like it. Pay attention to how he has to bail out those shavings every single time. He can't just move the plane back and forth. And when you look at these other planes, he can move them back and forth without having to bail out shavings every single time. Well, Jamie, why is that happening? Well, Bob, I wish I had an answer for you. I tried a wider mouth, a smaller mouth, moving the chip breaker, moving the frog, and I haven't been able to figure it out. As you can see here, it happened once with the vintage Clifton, but other than that, it didn't happen again. So I'm sorry, I don't have an answer. Maybe people can let me know down below if they have figured out why this happens and how to stop it from happening. Well, that is a shame, because I am loving watching these planes just glide through the wood like butter. I mean, all of them do perform really well, but can you show me in a little bit more detail what the Veritas is doing? Of course, Bob, here you go. Well, I hope somebody's got answers for you, because I can just feel that guy's frustration. I hope so too, Bob. So just remember, if you're going to go with the Veritas, just bail out the shavings every single time. And to wrap everything up, just a reminder, all of these planes can take amazing shavings. So who's the winner here, Jamie? Whoa, hold up, Bob. We are just the announcers. We do not pick a winner. Now, everybody that attended this event got to see the stats. They got to see the planes in detail. They got to see them in action, and they can form their own opinions. Well, that's fair. Take us to the outro. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the event. If you have any questions, any comments, or you picked a winner, let us know down below, and have a good evening.